Guys, something very, very strange is happening outside of One Arrowhead Drive this offseason for the Kansas City Chiefs, and we are getting glimpses into it. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest up front. I don't know what I'm doing with this video, and I know what you're saying. Scrambling. Be honest. Honestly, I normally know what I'm going to talk about before I turn on the camera, but right now, I only have an idea of where I need to end this video because this is the first time I've ever heard of anything this stark from the Kansas City Chiefs. And where I started was over the past couple of days, I've made a couple videos where I mentioned Skyy Moore, and I've been doing a little bit of research on Skyy Moore, looking into his numbers, looking into all sorts of things, the articles that have been written about Skyy Moore lately, and I came across something interesting about Skyy Moore. And it's this that keeps popping up in article after article about him. Chiefs wide receiver turning heads this offseason. Transformation after injury from KC Kingdom by Nick Holden, where we get in the article these quotes. If there is one consistent concern for the Kansas City Chiefs in recent seasons, it has been a lack of proven receiver depth. Even the emergence of Rashee Rice is now a question with a possible looming suspension in 2024 after 2024's brutal injury. Heading into the 2025 season, Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy as the team's primary options. However, if OTAs are any indication, the team could find a surprise contributor. Skyy Moore showed up to OTAs after suffering a 2024 injury in noticeably different shape. Moore has added muscle and looks like a player motivated to win a larger role. The pass catcher has 494 receiving yards in his 3 seasons with the Chiefs and has caught 1 touchdown. After missing 2024, it is fair to call this season make or break for the 4th-year pro. Now, this isn't all that strange an occurrence, right? A guy takes some time in his off season and he is on the precipice maybe of no longer being in the NFL, and he dedicates himself to his craft. He dedicates himself to the weight room. He gets bigger and stronger in the off season. And I didn't really think too much of it because, yeah, I mean, he's still at the age, he entered the league young. He's still at the age where a body transformation can happen in a positive direction over a single off season. It makes kind of sense, right? If you were living your dream career and all of a sudden it was threatened, maybe you would dedicate 3 months of your life, which for Skyy Moore, because of the injury, could be closer to 6-8 months, right? He was when was he able to lift after that injury? Because if he was able to lift, but he still couldn't be cleared for contact, he would have been able to work out. He would have been able to start that body transformation. And that's not, again, all that crazy, all that wild, all that strange. But then I remembered, well, there was another Chief, Kansas City Chief, who had some injury issues last season that I kept hearing things about. In an article titled Kansas City Chiefs Isaiah Pacheco's Physical Transformation Catches Andy Reid's Attention from Yardbarker by Rex Villas, we get the following. Coming off a challenging season, Kansas City Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco is looking to make waves in the NFL again after the upcoming 2025 NFL campaign. Pacheco was limited to just 7 games, 6 starts in 2024, as he had to deal with a fractured fibula injury. Although he was able to return for the final stretch of that season, he only managed to record just 175 rushing yards on 49 carries with 0 touchdowns in his final 5 appearances. As part of his mission to be better in 2025, Pacheco tried to bulk up this offseason as he saw his weight come down while he was recuperating from his injury. In a press conference, Chiefs head coach Andy Reid spoke about his observation of Pacheco's body transformation. He put on a couple pounds of good weight, Reid said. He got himself down there a little bit last year and leaned up, but man, I think he looks tremendous right now. Isaiah Pacheco had reportedly made the comment that he was back to, 217 and a 437, Isaiah Pacheco style, commenting on his weight and his 40-yard dash. Yeah, Isaiah Pacheco's another young player, and Isaiah Pacheco making a body transformation. It's just strange. You don't really hear about this twice in one off season. You don't really hear about two guys making total body transformations for one team. But we didn't. We didn't hear about two guys making body transformations on one team in a single off season. No, we heard about three. Chiefs rumors. Travis Kelce undergoes significant body transformation ahead of 2025 season from Yahoo Sports by Michael Whitaker. Now, just before we talk about this, there has been a myriad of different stories over this. Some people say that Travis Kelce has not lost 25 pounds. Some people say Travis Kelce has lost 25 pounds. Apparently, Travis Kelce made comments on the situation on his podcast. I couldn't hunt them down, so I don't know where those comments are or exactly what it is. But there have been other people who have commented on seeing Travis Kelce that he does look slimmer. Whether or not that's 25 pounds is kind of neither here nor there. I mean, the actual weight difference is kind of meaningless because Travis Kelce's frame is so large that he's going to be able to add imperceptible muscle while losing weight. What do I mean by that? He's such a long athlete that when he adds a pound of muscle, you won't notice it. He loses 5 pounds of fat, you start to notice it. You won't notice the muscle, but you'll notice the lost fat. The 2025 campaign will be the last on his current contract, and his future could potentially be up in the air after that. But for now, Kelce is aiming to make the most of what remains on his current deal, and reports indicate he will be sporting a new, slimmer look when he arrives at mandatory minicamp next week. So this was obviously just a couple weeks ago this article was written. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN went into details about Kelce's offseason transformation on SportsCenter, saying the future Hall of Fame tight end lost approximately 25 pounds this offseason, while noting that 2025 could in fact be his last dance. The Chiefs knew that Kelce was going to be gone this week. He's expected back for minicamp, Fowler said. He'll address the media and be on the practice field, all that fun stuff, and he'll debut a slimmer look. He's told people close to him that he's lost about 25 pounds this offseason. He played a little heavier in 2024. It was the sort of thing he vowed to. It was sort of a thing he vowed to change it, and he has. As we talked about before, this could be the last dance for him in his mid-30s, still a productive player. They want to go to him on third down, but he's declining a little bit. He's trying to be slimmer and has gone hardcore this off season. We are seeing it again. So, look, these guys all work out very, very hard during the off season. There's no way to really stay in the shape necessary for professional football without working out hard. Still, a lot of guys get into the NFL and they have coasted on their athleticism, and at that point, they kind of coast on their bodies as well. They kind of don't try to get better in the offseason. They kind of hit a meh point. These Kansas City Chiefs are not doing that. We have 3 offensive players who have made such a body transformation in one offseason that it is noted by the media. It is noted by people who are close to them and see them on a daily basis. This is an incredible idea here. And I think what's going on is twofold. Number one, these guys are embarrassed by that Super Bowl. Everyone watches the Super Bowl. They know that. Everyone saw them get their butts handed right to them in that Super Bowl. They know that. They're embarrassed by it. But it's kind of strange that, we're not talking about George Karlaftis or Trent McDuffie. We're not talking about Joshua Williams the way that we're talking about Skyy Moore making that offseason body transformation the way that Skyy Moore did. These are offensive players, all three of them. The offense for the Kansas City Chiefs at the time all of these players were acquired or played through this. Travis Kelce's old, but Travis Kelce played through the Kansas City Chiefs being known for their offensive prowess. All three of these players would take very, very personally the idea that since 2022, the offense hasn't been very good. I have a theory that I've talked about on this channel before, but it's outside of football, so I don't like to talk about it a lot. But I think what we're looking at has to do a lot with something like that. Patrick Mahomes is obviously very passionate about football. Patrick Mahomes is someone who has come in and single-handedly nearly changed the face of an entire organization. Patrick Mahomes came to an organization that had a single playoff victory in about a 30-year time frame and has won no fewer than 2 playoff games every year since he was the starter. Patrick Mahomes, very passionate about football. I have something I call the passion principle that has since been a name that has been taken by something else. So if I ever decide to get this into publication, if I ever write this book, I'll have to think of something else to call it. I'll crowdsource that, right? Where there is disinterest, exposure to passion causes interest. You don't like Pokemon cards. Your coworker doesn't talk about anything but Pokemon cards, and he mentions, because he talks about them so much, something that interests you. Maybe it's the way the price that those things sell for, and you think, really? There's a Pokemon card going for $50? I can't believe that. You can buy a pack and pull a Pokemon card that is a $50 card? It piques your interest. You're not passionate about Pokemon afterwards, but you're interested in how could that be true. Where there is disinterest, exposure to passion causes interest. Where there is interest, exposure to passion grows into passion. You are a casual football fan, but every Monday, your boss comes in and he's hooting and hollering and he's talking about the Patriots just won him $20 and he's talking about the Kansas City Chiefs are on record-setting pace. He's talking about all of these things, and he mentions something that interests you. You have interest in football. He's passionate about football. All of a sudden, he's wanting to know, who have you got in the Browns Raiders this weekend? Well, maybe you want to put some money on it too. You were interested in football. Now you become passionate about football because you have a passionate person to talk to about football. Where there is passion, where there is interest, exposure to passion builds passion. Where there is passion, exposure to passion builds greatness. All of these players are passionate about football. Someone truly passionate about football, Patrick Mahomes, walks in the door and all of a sudden, everything is different. There are levels to passion. Someone who is as dedicated to his craft as is Patrick Mahomes, as we have reports of Patrick Mahomes being off-season after off-season after off-season, walks through that door with other players who are passionate enough about football that they became professional football players. They became actual NFL starters. Patrick Mahomes walks through the door the way that he does, the way that he is, and all of a sudden you have guys making body transformations in a single offseason. You have multiple players making body transformations in a single offseason because they were so embarrassed by that Super Bowl appearance. Now, there should be 30 other teams way more embarrassed by that performance than the Kansas City Chiefs. Why? Because they weren't there. They didn't get to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs were there, but they were the first place losers. They felt that it stung them. They have gone home and decided to transform over the course of a single offseason. Again, I don't know what to do with this information, but I have never, in all of my years of enjoying football, of reading too many football articles, of watching too much ESPN, of paying too much attention during the offseason to a sport over which I had no control. I have never heard of 3 players making marked body transformations in a single offseason, and yet here we are.